And joining us live is a man whose book comes out tomorrow, titled 61, Life Lessons from Papa on and Off the Court. Chris Paul with Michael Wilbon. I can't wait to hear the stories that are in here. It is about life off the court and how his grandfather inspired him to do so many things. His grandpa was the first black-owned gas station in the county in Carolina.
Wow.
Whenever he passed away, suddenly out of nowhere, after a heart attack, after getting mugged and robbed, I do believe, over 1,000 people came to this man's funeral. He's beloved by everybody, basically, that has ever encountered him. Chris, the next night, goes and plays a high school basketball game, scores 61 in honor of his grandfather.
Damn.
Would go on to Wake Forest and obviously become one of the greatest leaders in the history of professional sport as a man that has vital ties to the National Basketball Players Association.
Yep.
The deal him and Bob Iger negotiated to play in the fucking bubble. We're talking about one of the most genius sports guys of all time. Book comes out tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Paul.
Yeah!
How you doing, Paul?
Pat, what's happening?
Chris, thank you for coming on the program. This is fantastic. I just read up on it as much as possible, and obviously I haven't been able to get through it. We'll listen to it. I can't wait for the stories. I read the blurb. I read the back. I'm kind of getting the gist of this whole thing. Thank you for doing this. And obviously, rest in peace to your Papa Chili, I believe is his name.
Yeah, my grandfather.
Rest in peace to him. And,
Chili.
yeah, and how much have, like, so is this business-related stuff? Is this life lessons? What is the book? And how, when I start diving in, what should I expect?
Man, it's a little bit of everything, Pat. But first, appreciate you having me on, man. It's so dope to see what all you got now. Like, that's what's crazy. Like, the whole set, like, man, I'm happy for you. Like, genuinely happy for you. But
Come on, Chris.
for me, for me and my grandfather, this book is about, like, why I am the way I am, you know, and it teaches like how important these relationships are. You know what I mean? Like my grandfather was everything. That was my best friend. And I just talk about, you know, this time in my life when he was murdered when I was 17.
It's a crazy thing to think about that type of thing happening to you, especially on, I think it was the day after you signed your commitment letter to Wake Forest, I believe is what I read. So a lot happening to you. Do you think you maturing quickly and having to handle these types of things is the reason why you are the leader you are now? Because I believe everybody, whenever it comes to NBA conversations, whenever it's negotiation, they go like, well, Chris Paul is a massive piece of it. The NFL is hoping that somewhere in a locker room around the 32 cities in which there are teams, there is a Chris Paul that business-wise can kind of lead the NFL whenever they're negotiating with the NFLPA. Do you think you matured early because of this situation? Do you think you were built for it? And how much of that is real versus how much of it's fairy tale that you were kind of piecing together behind the scenes?
That was a whole lot right there, Pat, to tell you the truth.
Might be a chapter.
I don't know which part to answer right there. But
all of them.
I tell you, my grandfather's like murder, I think it forced me to grow up early. It showed me that nothing's promised, tomorrow's not promised. And then my granddad did so much for my family, you know what I mean? Not just spiritually and emotionally, but financially. And it made me want to be that caretaker for my family. As far as the union stuff and working as far as the PA, I think that was just an interest. That was something I've always been curious. I asked a lot of questions. And, you know, I was on the executive committee for 7 years before I was president for 8 years. So it was just curiosity.
Well, you crush it. Everybody's looking for you in every other league. So keep going. Go ahead, AJ.
Chris, I'm wondering, like, with everything you do, first off, I don't know how you do it, with how involved you are. It seems like you're also like this, you know, doing all this business stuff. You're an entrepreneur, and you're kind of the leader that people go to in the NBA. It feels like if they have a question, if they need something done, what do you want to do post NBA life? Whenever you do plan on hanging them up, do you want to try to run the union? You want to try to run the league? What do you want to do? TV obviously is there as well.
Run the country?
Yeah, or no, not that. Definitely not that. Come over there and work with you, Pat. You got a spot for me.
Absolutely. We got enough space for you. Yeah. Now, granted, I will say, Foxy, how many free throws did you make in a row over there?
85.
85 straight's the record in here for free throws. The amount of what's that?
You said 85? Who made 85?
Yeah, white kid from Michigan. The kid's got
That's all I can do, Chris. That's all I got.
Lefty. It's beautiful, too. I mean, he just sits in there and locks in. How long does it take normally? It's a good bit.
Yeah, it takes like over 10 minutes, I'd say.
He's locked in, though.
Yeah.
I can never do that. But there's records for you to be had here. There's life for you to live here. What do you want to do? Or you're not even thinking about it? Because obviously, your basketball career right now is being talked about everywhere. You know, you just got traded yesterday. How much are we playing for 10 more years? Have you thought about the future at all?
Definitely not 10, but you think about it, Pat, like, you know what I'm saying? You were an athlete, you retired. And so for me, I've had a lot of guys that I've had an opportunity to talk to about that. And for a lot of the guys I've talked to, they say when you start thinking about it, then you're already done. I'm still too in it. I'm still too in it. When I get done here, I'm headed over to the union office to work out. You know what I mean? I still just love what I do. And when that time comes, you know, I'll face it.
Finding gyms to work out in, that's a big part. Weren't you just in you were over there in LA somewhere, weren't you? I mean, you're in Washington now, aren't you? You're in Phoenix, Washington, New York.
What?
You're in LA.
You talking about when I was working out?
Yeah.
At that gym?
Yeah, in LA. Weren't you working?
You know what's so funny about that, Pat? And that's just show you how crazy the internet is. Everybody was trying to say I was working out at the Lakers practice facility. That was not. That was a guy who lives in LA. I'm not going to say his name, but those people who know, he has a house with the Lakers court in his gym that many people work out at all the time.
Okay. So you wanted to work out there because you wanted to be a Laker? Is that why?
Because he lives close to me, and I've been working out there. I used to work out there even when I played for the Clippers.
Oh, okay. You didn't tell him, hey, we need to change the paint. We need to change the paint just like they do over in Staples. Now, crypto, that's out of business. What will it be going forward? Let's talk about the big news, though. And we talked to Shams Charania earlier. He told us that you go from like a $15 million deal to like a $30 million deal. So congrats to that on that. If that's the truth on what actually happened. Business. Hey, looking good business with the book coming out. What are your thoughts on it all?
You just signed a nice deal, too, didn't you?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, all right.
Pretty good for everybody. We all eat.
Yeah, all right.
We all eat. But what is your thoughts on this? I read that you were on Good Morning America. You said you found out about it while you were on the flight to Good Morning America. So you didn't see this coming. And what do you think the future looks like for you? What is your part in this whole thing?
Don't know. I was flying yesterday from New York. To New York from LA, and I got a text from my son. That's how I found out. And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I was sitting there. I showed my wife or whatever because we was in the air, and you know, it's all right. We got to figure out what's next.
Hell yeah! What is? What is?
Here we go.
What is? You know what I mean? That is, we all got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Hey, we're here to figure it out together. Let's figure this out together. Okay, we get $30 million now instead of $15 million.
Very sweet.
Well, Washington Wizards, cool town. He's part of MBPA. DC's right there.
That's right. Boom.
We got a lot of movers and shakers.
Yeah.
We can do a lot of good stuff there. We don't mind that.
Slow down. I'm not the PA president no more.
Yeah, but your fucking name.
You got the resume.
Well, we want to wish you luck for everything. Wherever you end up, we hope you're happy. Sounds like you're still very committed to basketball, though.
No question. My golf game needs some work, though, Pat. You remember that?
Yeah, I do. You beat me, though. I mean, you played better than I did. That's good.
Pat was in my golf tournament. What was that, 5 years ago?
Yeah, I think 4 or 5. Yeah, maybe.
Barefoot out there hitting bombs.
Hey, I almost fell on my ass too. And then Del Curry made me putt out every foot putt, if you do recall. He was watching me booze all day, and then we would get up to the green. I'd be within a foot, and I'd be like, all right, waiting. Anybody? And so I'm
He said, I need to see that.
Bingo. I'm going to need to see that. Yeah, the first one I make, hell yeah. Second one again, I'm gonna need to see that. Miss. And he just walks off. You've always been good to us, though.
Brett Favre was the craziest one, though.
Wow.
Brett Favre showed up in sneakers, no glove, and just driving the green. Hits
the ball far.
Yeah, listen, you can say whatever you want about Brett Favre. Okay, I'm gonna stay away from it.
That's right.
His golf game was incredible, though.
Oh yeah.
His golf game was incredible, Chris. Yeah, I was in. I don't know if you heard. You were busy in the middle of a basketball season, but damn, we were in the middle of it. Let's talk about some of the basketball, though, here, Chris. You've obviously been in the game a long time. The game has evolved. Has it changed as much as people say from the outside looking in? Do you experience that? And what are your thoughts on the current state of basketball in the NBA right now?
No question. It changed. I mean, when I first came into the league, the games was ending at 85 to 80. Now that's the end of the third quarter, but it's been so cool to be a part of it. You know what I mean? To play as long as I've been able to play. And it's fun. It's like, I mean that. Like, it's still fun.
Yeah, well, you're crushing. We got to see you, obviously, when you were playing the Suns out there in L.A. that night. And you out there, just the way people respond to you, just you, like your teammates, fans, and he's over there dapping up every human in the building.
Some big human.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's over there.
Talking.
Oh,
yeah.
How we doing?
Yeah.
Big movers and shakers.
Hey, Wendy dropped on this show last week that you and him kind of pieced together the bubble. That true?
That who did?
You and Bob.
Yeah. That's my man. That's my guy right there.
Man, Chris, absolutely crushing it.
Yep.
We appreciate the hell out of you. Good luck on the book, all right?
Appreciate it, Pat. Thank y'all, too.
Hey, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Paul.
Yeah.